14 Republicans voted against it. You've got regular citizens for it, against it, people back, forth, conservatives, liberals. So what's the deal? And I'm seriously asking these questions because, folks, I don't have all the answers. At first, I thought it makes sense. Let's make it a holiday. Then after a few discussions with some friends, really smart people, a lot smarter than me, I went, okay, I see their point on maybe why we don't. So I'm torn. So that's why I want to bring somebody on and enlighten me and also help you folks as well. He's the Executive Director of Unhyphenated America, Christopher Harris. I respect this gentleman's opinion, and I want to know more because a new poll just said, Christopher, that only 12% of Americans, forget color of skin or age, 12% of Americans actually know what Juneteenth is from the 1800s. So pretty much most Americans have no clue. Want to give them a quick history lesson?
Hey, Dan, thanks for having me on again. Good to talk to you. You know, it's interesting that we're choosing to celebrate Juneteenth today and that President Joe Biden is pushing it. But here's the problem with history. This is not really the day that all Americans were free from the scourge of slavery. I'll jump to the end and tell you like this. If there's any day that all Americans should be celebrating the end of slavery, it's December 6th. 1865, because that's the day of the ratification of the 13th Amendment. That's the day that not only blacks in the South, but blacks all over the United States were finally free from slavery, which actually freed all Americans from the shackles and the yoke of slavery. But you know, there's so many other days we can go back and look at in history, because what's not being taught in our school books, and especially with critical race theory being out there, they're pummeling our children with critical race theory. They're not teaching history in its proper context and perspective with the dates, right? And so what people don't realize, Dan, is that from the beginning of this nation, they have been trying, or they were trying to end slavery. So there's so many dates. I could go down the list, but, you know, I'm going to put a shameless plug in for the unhyphenatedamerica.org website that I would suggest your listeners go and check out, because if they want to hear me give it in proper context, it's a 20-minute long video, but it's well worth the watch. I watched some of it before you came on, by the way. That's why I wanted you on, because I like what you had to say in that video, and we're short for time, and I want to get this question out to you. So you've got now Republicans fighting over whether or not Biden should have done this, even though President Trump was thinking of doing it. I'm glad you pointed out there's other dates. So my question is, I had Charlie Kirk on yesterday, and he brought this up. Is it virtue signaling then? Is it going to separate Americans more because you've got Independence Day on the 4th and Juneteenth now? Or are you going to separate black and white even more in the country? And then Charlie brought up a good point about corporate America. Will they use then to virtue signal? I mean, you got Coke out there already saying be less white to their white employees. Are they going to jump on Juneteenth and celebrate that and make it a bigger deal than the 4th so they can act more woke? So I see that side of it, of why Juneteenth maybe shouldn't have been, but then I also see the other side on why it should have been. So I'm in the middle going, I don't know. And should I? Once again, you have to know history in its context. And here's what's going to happen in about 2 or 3 weeks when the 4th of July happens. You're going to see a lot of people, especially black folks, circulating posts on social media. And they're going to be saying, they're going to quote Frederick Douglass, and they're going to quote his speech, "What to the slave is the 4th of July." And here's the problem, Dan, which is typical of leftist, progressive, socialist-minded people. They never quote things in context. They never give perspective, because that speech from Frederick Douglass was a roughly 10,000 word speech. But yes, in the first 7,500 words, he really took America to task, right? And he pointed out all the faults and flaws of the United States. But in the last 2,500 words, he spoke of the United States and said our Constitution was, in fact, a glorious liberty document. And he challenged you to find anywhere in that document where it gave license for slavery. And one of the things I talked about in that video is that if the Constitution of the United States actually gave license to slavery, then why would the Confederate states have felt it necessary in their Constitution on multiple occasions, I think three or four occasions in their Constitution, where they put specific protections for slavery? Why would they feel the need to do that if slavery was already protected by the U.S. Constitution? The answer is because it wasn't protected in the U.S. Constitution. All this is being done, Dan, to promote more diversity, but it's actually trying to split America up. The strength of the United States is not in our diversity, it's in our unity. And our unity is based on shared beliefs and ideas, the belief in faith, the belief in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what unites us, so that people can come from all over the world, from all different countries, all different continents, all different ethnicities. And if they believe and if they embrace those principles, they can come here and be Americans, simply Americans, unhyphenated Americans.
And that's the
If there's
final
gonna be
word.
another
We're out
day-
of time. Christopher, sorry to cut you off, but first of all, you summed it up perfectly. I love your side and your opinion of it because, again, I was torn. Check out that video. Check out his post. Christopher Harris, Unhyphenated American. Get yourself educated on Juneteenth, and then you can have an educated discussion with your friends or foes like I'm doing because I'm still on the fence. Christopher, have a good weekend. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.